Hi everyone and welcome to a brand new video on my channel. Today we'll be talking about A Strange and Stubborn Endurance by Australian author Fawaz Meadows. It's the first book in the fantasy series The Titanite Chronicles. First things first, I think it's important to mention some trigger warnings. The novel touches on some topics that may not be for some readers. There are namely explicit scenes of rape, suicide attempt and suicidal ideation. What is quite unexpected is that these events take place at the beginning of the book, but influence the character's relationship throughout the novel. So what is it about? It's set in a world with medieval Renaissance-like vibes. Two bordering countries that have been kind of at war are now in peace, and they are trying to call a truce, build an alliance. That's where Belicene, one of our protagonists, comes into the picture. He is the youngest son in a noble family and lives a secret, idle life with no duties. But then his father decides he is to marry a young noblewoman from the neighboring country, Titanai, to contribute to the alliance. What he doesn't know is that Belicene is gay, something that would be completely scandalous and disgracing in his country. He is caught in a scene that reveals his preference for men, which threatens his father's diplomatic efforts. However, in Titanai they are much more open-minded, and it is more than okay to be queer. So they offer change in the proposal, and now Belicene is to get married to this noblewoman's brother, Kay. Belle's father sees the whole thing as degrading and disowns him. And now Belicene's only option is to actually get married to this complete stranger. But he's also deeply hurt. He was assaulted. And after that horrible experience, he is terrified his husband-to-be will try to force him, and he doesn't trust anyone. Being touched, however gently and innocently, triggers a trauma response, but his betrothed always treats him respectfully. He is basically the perfect partner. He is caring, patient, understanding, and reassuring, and he tries to make Belicene feel as comfortable as possible and to give him space. After Kay helps Belicene and Belle tells him about him being assaulted, they slowly start trusting each other and decide to be or try to be friends. This is actually a sort of enemies to lovers slow burn. But let me tell you, it's probably the softest, most heartwarming enemies to lovers I've ever read. It's basically two people that never wanted to get married to each other, but now they are really trying to make it work and take each other's wishes into account. And that and terrible events they have to go through together will bring them closer, and then love will flourish. I'm saying it's a slow burn because it basically takes more or less 70% of the book for them to confess their love, but in fact I think everything happens very fast in a couple of weeks or maybe 3 weeks. There's much more than the romance that's worth it about the book. The political conspiracies Belicene and Kay are thrown into keep you hooked. Someone appears to be trying very hard to get rid of Belicene as soon as he gets to Titanai. He really goes through a lot and is the target of several monstrous crimes. As its sending off becomes clear, those crimes are a part of a bigger plan to sow distrust in Kay's family. It's just a gripping book where magic does play a role, but I'd say it's less important. The political system and the magic system are explained in a way that's very easy to understand, and it doesn't feel like it's way too detailed or goes too far. I especially love how the author explains the differences between the two countries. As said, Titanai people have a completely different view on queerness and women, whereas Belicine's country is misogynistic, homophobic, and transphobic. It's great to see this sheer contrast and how Belicene deals with it. He comes from a place from being himself is indecent, and some of those values are deeply rooted in him. So when he gets to Titanai, he has to come to terms with this new situation where he can be himself openly. As weird as it may seem at first to him, it is actually liberating. There's something else I have to say. I just loved Ballestine's relationship with Markel, his valet. He is his servant, but he is also his best friend. They always help and support each other, and Markel was the first person Balatin felt like he could trust and tell everything to. It's such a good, endearing example of what a good friendship should be like. So yeah, there are plenty of reasons to read the book. I totally recommend it. And I'm already looking forward to getting my hands on the sequel, All the Hidden Paths. If you've read the book, you can write a comment and share your thoughts. And if you haven't, go ahead and give it a try. That's all for now. I hope you liked the video, and I hope to see you very soon.